What does my shirt say? Shh, nobody cares, which they don't. If you've been here for a while, you already know that I love templates and systems and having systems in place for particularly anything, business, life, all the things. And so today I'm going to show you something that you can use for your business as well as your everyday life if you choose to do so. So I was asked on the Clock app, okay, to create a small little video on how I use email templates using Microsoft Outlook. Now, Gmail is very popular among entrepreneurs, but a lot of people still use Microsoft Outlook, whether it's for their 9-to-5, whether it's for their own business. They just prefer the application, which is completely understandable. So in honor of that and the question that was asked to me, I'm going to record a full video for you today on how to create an email template in Outlook. But I'm also going to show you how to do it in Google as well, in case you are using Google and don't know how to. So let's create email templates. Okay, so first step is when creating your email templates is to have your email template actually written out, right? The things that you say all the time and what kind of template you want to create. For this example, I'm going to use something that I would create to send out to client inquiries after we've had a meeting per se. So I want to start with hello. Obviously, I'm going to leave the other area blank because I'll add the client's name here. And then I will do, it was such a pleasure meeting with you today and discussing your project. Here's a recap of what to discuss. And I leave this space empty so I know that these things will actually be the things we touched on or what we discussed during that meeting. I can even do a bullet point to start us off here. So I would write here, I will start writing what I discussed in that meeting. And then here's what happens next. And I did these as read and sign contract, pay invoice. But what I do with my emails is I actually enter or create these as links. So I would highlight those once I'm in, obviously in Outlook or Gmail. I would highlight those and add my link, and then link it to the invoice or link it to the Dipsado, wherever the heck you have your invoices. You would link, I would link it there. So my read and sign contract, I would actually send them to a link in HelloSign, HeySign, DocSign, one of those. I forgot the name of it, but I will actually include the link so they can sign the contract and read it. I would submit a link to pay the invoice, and then just once the invoice is paid, I will send you all of your onboardings, whatever other information that I deem pertinent for that meeting, something that I say over and over again. If you already have a client onboarding type of workflow or an SOP, you already know what to include in your emails and what you're going to need that client to know. So just include it in that first email template to create, so that you're not constantly creating things over and over again. So I just like to do this in Word, like I said, and just make sure everything looks good. And then of course I'm going to just make sure I just copy that to the clipboard. We all know how to copy and paste at this point, so it's nothing out of this world. And then what I'm gonna go do now is I'm gonna go into my Outlook. So in your Outlook, it should look like this. This is a new updated version of Outlook, but I think most of them should have the same instructions. So we're actually going to do new mail because this is where we want to create our email template, of course. And we're going to paste that information that we just copied from Microsoft Word. And then to save this, we're going to do File. We're going to do Save As, super important. We are going to change the Save As type to an Outlook template. We're going to name it, and don't change this application data field because this is just going to tell you where this is going to land, and it's going to pick up the templates from this area. So as you can see, I already did one that says client inquiry, but you can name it whatever you want. Let's say this is client offboarding. Then you can name it that and then hit save. Okay, so your email template is saved. Now in order to use it, this is what you're going to do. you're going to go into the new email, but you're going to click on the little arrow for the drop down menu. You're going to go over to choose from, select look in user templates in file system, and here are the 2 templates that I just created. So we're going to click on the client inquiry because that's the actual one that I use. The client offboarding was just to show you guys how I do it. I click open and there's my email template. Obviously you will put in your subject, who you're sending this to, the subject, and then the information that's needed for that particular client, and add, you know, I would add my links or whatever it is that you do for yours, and that's it. You're sending it off. Simple, easy, to the point. And create as many as you want for the different things that you're constantly emailing about. That way you're not sitting there typing every single thing out, or going to the last email you pasted for that last client, copying and pasting, and then maybe getting into a situation where you copy the wrong things to the wrong client. Trust me, it's happened to me as well. So this is why I create just an email template, to make my life just so much easier. So now we're going to flip on to Gmail. So for Gmail, the same concept applies. You would compose an email, you would paste your information, make sure it looks good, same thing as well. You're going to hover over to these 3 little dots that says more options. You're going to click templates. Now obviously I already have a template in here. Obviously I did new client, which is what this exact thing is, just like in Microsoft Outlook. This one's called new client, the other one's client inquiry. It's really much the same thing. And then I have a template for my podcast host when I want to invite somebody to help me co-host a podcast. But if you were doing this from scratch, you would do save draft as template, you would do save as new template, or you can override your existing ones if you want to change up the wording in some of these. I'm going to do save as new template, and I'm going to call this exactly like I did with the other one. We're going to do client inquiry. We're going to hit save, and then our template is saved. To use, pretty simple as well. We would go to the same 3 little buttons. We're going to go to templates, and we're going to pick the one we just did, and there you go. The same exact way you did with the other one, you are going to send it to your client, whoever. So the only difference with the Microsoft Outlook is that whatever you named your template, it's going to actually be the subject line. So if you don't want it to say client inquiry when you're sending it to your client, you would change it at that point. You would do thank you for meeting with me, or whatever subject header you want, and then you would do the same thing, fill out the information, and then hit send, and you're ready to go. So if you enjoyed that and you found that useful, please consider subscribing to the channel. I want to make videos that inspires you to create the life and business that you want. I'm here to create content focused on using tech systems to elevate your business, productivity, entrepreneurship, personal development, all the things, and bring out that creative spark in you to create the life and business that you want. So please consider subscribing. Please hit the thumbs up if you like this. If anyone is struggling with creating an email template, both in Gmail or Outlook, please send them this video, and I will see you again for another video. Guys, today I have something. So today we're going to talk about templates, email templates in specific.